Well, thank you for joining me today in our meditation half-hour lunch break. What I like about these half-hour meditation times is it's in the middle of the day when we normally get some time to ourselves to take a bite to eat or to pause or to have a lunch break. And we can take a moment for ourselves, not doing any activity besides being, besides breathing, and just really allowing ourselves to feel the fullness of who we are. And I would like to have today's meditation focus on emotions. I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit on music. Music is always one way that we can, as individuals, help us to calm down from our emotions. I don't know if anybody out there is a big music fan, but I love music. It gets me in a state where I can relax. I don't have to worry about other noises that are coming in to disturb me, and I can let the sounds of the piano or the sounds of the instruments or a sound of someone's voice take me to a state of appreciation or release. Wherever it takes me, it just allows me to stop whatever I'm thinking about that's negative. So emotions can play a big, powerful pull, P-U-L-L, pull in our life. So what are some of the emotions that maybe you have experienced recently this week? You don't have to share out loud, but just take a moment to think, or take a running list of any sort of adjective or emotion that you may have experienced today, or the last few days, or over the weekend. Take a moment and get a handful of emotions, 5 to 10 that you may have been thinking about. I know I have been feeling a little nervous, been feeling anxiety over things that are happening with COVID and isolation. I've been feeling alone. I've been feeling bitter. All these different kinds of emotions. I've also felt happy and contented. There is a tendency for us when we consider emotions to instantly go to the negative and forget that we also have happy emotions. So whatever emotions that you have been feeling, we're going to just breathe and become aware of that. Don't judge your emotions. Don't entangle your mind into the thoughts of your emotions. Emotions are the fuel to the firestorm of our thoughts. We may have a thought of being hurt or abandoned or scared. And those thoughts lead us into emotions of the same attraction, if you will. When we have our meditation practice and we are sitting say we're sitting in a chair like we're doing now, or we're standing and we're sitting with our emotions, meditation helps us to disconnect from them. There's nothing wrong with having emotions. There's nothing wrong with being an emotional being, because we're human and we were given emotions for a reason. We know that we can regulate our emotions just by breathing, just by taking a moment to calm yourself. We're going to start that now in our practice. So close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. And take a big deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Once again, Breathing deep in through your nose. Feel the warmth of the air. And out through your mouth. Just sigh. Just let it go. And breathe normally. But I want you to breathe from your diaphragm. Take your breath from your lungs when you inhale, that shallow breathing, and breathe a little bit deeper. Our diaphragm muscle is actually made to help us breathe. So take your breath from your lungs to your diaphragm. If your mind starts to wander, just focus back on your breath. What does the quality of your breath feel like in your diaphragm? Is it harder to breathe from there, or is it easier? Do you feel your lungs wanting to fight for the air? Just notice anything that you are feeling. In my meditation practice that I teach, there is no wrong way to be. Just breathe. Be in your body and out of your mind. Sometimes our bodies react when we stop reacting. If we're constantly doing mental work or physical work or emotional work, and then we stop, it takes a moment for our body to realize and our mind to realize we're not in a rush. Just breathe. Don't be in a rush. Know where to go right now in this moment. When we have an event in our lives that trigger strong emotion, we can, because we're human, get caught up in all of the emotional pain or disappointment or hurt that we feel. And we can start to become our emotions, when actually we are separate. We're more than our emotions. We are all divine beings of love and harmony, of light, and an emotion, whether that's happy or joy or frustration and worry, Those emotions are just like house guests. Those emotional house guests can barge in when we least expect it, when a trigger happens or we watch a movie. And they can sit with us. But just like a family member or a relative or a friend that comes over to visit, those emotions don't have to stay on our couch. Those emotions can leave. Sometimes we don't want the emotions to leave. We want to hold on to a joyful or blissful moment. Or we may hold on to bitterness or anger, or hold on to resentment. But what helps in our practice as meditators is we can acknowledge the emotion, acknowledge that house guest for however long it may need to stay. And then we can also open the door and let it go. There is a process that I like to teach my students on how to let emotions go. And it's called the alphabet. In this alphabet of emotion, there's only 4 letters: A, B, C, and D. A is the awareness. Have an awareness of what emotion you're feeling. I had been interviewing to find work, and I had a great interview a number of weeks ago. And even though I thought the interview went well, and I emailed follow-up, and I called with follow-up, I never heard back. And I felt very disappointed. I felt rejected and sad. But when I had the awareness that those emotions were not all of who I am, I started to invite the emotion to get up off the couch of my mind and walk towards the door. Our second letter is B for breath. Once we have the awareness that these emotions no longer need to stay in our house, we can breathe them through the hallway of our mind to the door. Focusing back on our breath whenever we're made aware. And then our letter C stands for compassion. Have compassion for how you felt. It was very human and all right for me to feel disappointed and frustrated that my calls were never returned. And I had compassion for myself, and I had compassion for the manager. And that compassion is what allowed me to open the door. And the emotions were moving through the door. I did my letter D for decide. It was my decision to do good to others and to call others back and be considerate that allowed me to let the emotion leave my house completely and to shut the door. And that was something that I had to decide to do. So now whenever I think about the rejection, it doesn't trigger any emotional reaction anymore. That means that I have been able to transcend and those emotions aren't still sitting on my couch. So try that next time you feel a strong emotion. moment to come back. Big deep breath in. And take another big deep breath out. And open your eyes whenever you are ready. I don't know if you can see my screen, but there should be a picture. It is from one of my meditation teachers, Muji, and it says, "Feelings are just visitors. Let them come and go." So I hope that this meditation lunch break finds you well and a little more in tune with who you are beyond those emotional states that we have. So thank you again. You can email me if you have any comments or suggestions for themes. And I look forward to seeing you next week, Tuesday, right here. You're muted, I can't hear you.